Astrology time, Shane here, daily-astrocat.com. And today is Monday, and it is the 20th of July. So let's go, okay? Look, moon's going to be in Libra all day long. So Libra's a cardinal sign, right? And the moon in Libra will get us thinking. And ideas are what motivates the air energy, right? The air sign energy. That's what Libra's about, right? Cardinal. So Libra loves choices, weighing the good and the bad, right? Promoting harmony and partnership. We also tend to see more news centered around legal issues around these times, right? And in our case, a positive focus on our romantic relationships can also be part of that. Could have carried over from the weekend, right? Of course. So anyway, Venus in Virgo is bringing some level of exactitude to this moon, and consequently, that will make it feel like a very good work day. The upper atmosphere is changing, though, and people are reporting more aerial phenomena all across social media, right? Meteorites and stuff like that. Okay? Now, if you have any doubts about your current path and trajectory, there are two Jupiter aspects that will put those to rest today. Okay? We have creative and social opportunities to advance. Do the work, reach out, and solidify your future. And do it today. Whether it is your day job or your creative side work, creativity soars and the sky is the limit, at least for the next week. Not everyone is going to see this immediately because the message is going to be changing. It is possible to evolve spiritually while stepping into newer and expanded roles that you've been patiently pursuing, right? We can easily mix that 3D and 5D. So we can expand ourselves within and without, and also be doing more to bring ourselves into more abundance. Now, today's keyword is actually a number sequence, and it's 4444. 4 fours. And the color is a sidewalk chalk rainbow. Now, look, over the weekend, I bought a 444 candle, little tiny candle. It's like cinnamon, clove, and some other things, right? It's very pleasant. I have it burning over there with my other candles. I did it while I was writing as well. It's my second one. I had one before, and I just happened to be there at a little New Age store in Medway, Massachusetts, and we did that on Saturday. Now, as many of you know, 444, that's my number, and that's my jam, right? So I did so while I was out shopping with Carrie, that togetherness thing, right? The Libra moon from today. Now we need to talk about more. Now we need to talk more about that basket you've been hearing about, right? Yeah, that basket. And you may have been seeing bandied about. It's actually kind of a cradle, but the moon today in Libra will actually form the handle for that basket. And so that's kind of interesting, right? But the moon's such a fleeting thing that, there's nothing else in the sky in that position. Once the moon goes by, that basket's done, but those planets that are in that cradle still remain. So let's talk about that, right? So the cradle actually just kind of protects us from all the stuff that's underneath it and opens us up to possibilities that are above it, because essentially that's your parents looking down, right? There's almost nothing in the sky there in those points. However, what is there is if you take all of those edges of the cradle, which are all sextiles, right? There's 2 trines and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 sextiles there. You would have a number of yods that would form when the sun would go around those points, or when the moon's going over those points. And we're going to talk about both of those and what the difference is, because those are points that indicate some success, right? And it's tangible. It happened last year. We were able to track it because we had that cradle, but we had Saturn involved with that before, and it was actually trackable and verifiable, especially with regards to what I was doing and what I was experiencing. So now, look, Uranus and Jupiter are Pluto, Neptune, Uranus and Jupiter are all at 4 degrees of their respective signs, right? Pluto, 4 degrees Aquarius. Neptune, 4 degrees of Aries. Uranus, 4 degrees of Gemini. Jupiter, 4 degrees of Leo. And the sun is rapidly going to be approaching that 4-degree mark in Leo. For all intents and purposes, Jupiter and the Sun are conjunct because of the orbs, right? Those are those little leeway things. The Sun is right now, where's the Sun? Somewhere around 26 degrees, 27 degrees of Leo, right around there. So it's rapidly approaching it. So we're going to be coming into the Leo season, right? So now, this supercharges yesterday's grand air trine. If you remember yesterday's forecast, and it gives it a sense of assurance from without. Okay, this is a divine direction. Now, we already talked about how things are going to start paying off. And they're going to start paying off big time. Now, I've been telling you this for a year, and we tracked it last year, and now it's finally here. Over the next few days, you will need to capture as much of this energy as we can possibly hold, as you can possibly hold. We need to hold this because this sense of destiny and future accomplishment needs to become your new North Star. It's possible, and you have to tell yourself it's possible. You have to, you do it, right? People say that claim this energy. Then go ahead and claim it. If that's your jam, if that's what we've been conditioned to do, then we claim the energy. The energy is going to come from within you, though, because where the Sun is at in Cancer and where Mercury is at in Cancer, correct? Now, over the next few days, we're capturing that. Now, you are and you will continue to make a difference in many areas of your life. It's just going to be that way. You have to tell yourself that. When the Sun is conjunct Jupiter, this will be driving our Leo season. This is going to be our new reason for the reason for the season, right? The Leo season. That sense of combined destiny that we have, right? And it's not the stars are telling you. No, it's you that's telling you you're going to be able to do this. This is what our lesson has been from this Mercury retrograde. Now we're going to move forward. I'm going to tweak this, and this message will be refined as well because that's part of that Mercury retrograde. Now, look, this is going to it's going to begin to feel otherworldly. The Sun is going to take that Jupiter message and bring it. And Mercury will actually be conjunct with that at some point and bring it. Venus will be going retrograde in Scorpio later on this year. And that's going to be interesting because it's the second stage of a petal, right? And we have a full video of that on the website that's down below. It's a big video. It says the petals of Venus. You can go there and watch that if you haven't seen it already. Or if you need to refresh yourself, just go and refresh it. It's not really particularly germane to right now, but it will be coming up. And that will be updated for Scorpio at some point. Now, look, Mercury and Sun bringing that message to Venus that we are ready. We are ready to attract that abundance to us. Venus is going to open that petal up in Scorpio, and that petal is powerful. It runs deep, and it's going to be what we desire. And believe it or not, waiting in Sagittarius and in Capricorn, we have the black moon Lilith at that point, which is more of what we desire. So this year looks very like it's going to close out in an abundant way, right? So with that being said, let's talk about this, the otherworldly message that we're having, right? More and more people are tuning into these messages, and you may see it around, right? There's an uptick in all that sort of activity. Thanks to the Sun and Mercury in Cancer, because we're being more attuned to it, right? The universe is telling you something. Get on board. Now, this shift in the cosmos began yesterday with Spain's win at the World Cup. Oh, really, Shane? Yes, there's so many messages there, and the moon in Libra seems to make it feel like justice was finally served. If you followed it at all, you'll know there was a story there, right? And the win briefly elevates Spain on the world stage and highlights some differences regarding geopolitical issues that our world is currently facing. Don't look for this moon to change any of that. Remember that the divine exists within us and not in the corpus that exists only on paper and by law, the corporation. The message from the outer planets is handing us the key to securing our own freedom, but it is up to brave individuals such as one of you, one of us, whatever we decide we can do, okay, to take up the banner for the collective and bring it to the mainstream. All the memes in the world can't replace a spoken word. Music, Look, that was my my focus from yesterday, right? When I told you to focus between 9 and something. Yeah, I happen to have a little musical focus there, and it was good, right? Music leaves vibrations in the air and carves out its own unique period in space and time. So don't let the propaganda or the memes or anything like that fool you or the AI manipulate you. You deserve better. Ask the questions if you don't understand. Put them in the comments. Put them here. If you have questions about what I'm talking about, put them here. I will answer them as I am able because I'm also on a dual track, right? Personally, and I have to keep this daily-astrocat.com and my work both on the same track because my work is also advancing in ways that are going to provide more abundance and changing with this season. And it's for me, it's very personal. Now, one word of warning, however, it is easy for egotistical behavior to overshadow the goals of the collective. Jupiter in Leo is opposing Pluto in Aquarius. Now, how many times do we see people rise to public office on a raft of promises, but that raft becomes an expensive boat, and you're not allowed on it because all they're really doing is lining their own pockets while delivering nothing. Now, one way I can see to change this behavior is to enact term limits for all elected offices. Just a suggestion, right? And hopefully that would abolish the political career class. Go back to the farmer statesman or, citizen statesman. That's just a thought, right? Just a humble suggestion. Okay, so looks like we're running long here, but that's okay. This is worth it. So in 1944, speaking of that, Franklin Delano Roosevelt is nominated for an unprecedented fourth term at a Democratic convention. After he passes away, they put term limits on the presidency. Why not for everything else? All right, number one. And our birth, we're talking about destiny and how this is playing into some of your future plans. Who is more destined for greatness than somebody named the Great? Alexander the Great, born on this day in 356 in Macedonia. He's a king and a military leader, famous, right? Never defeated in battle. That's Alexander. Surrounded by all sorts of legends, right? Yeah, the Temple of Artemis, one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, burned allegedly on the day he was born because Artemis was attending his birth. That's a story they spun. Propaganda. It works. Okay, so that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate and love every single one of you. Yeah, that was some 2,000-year-old propaganda or something like that, right? Let's recap, right? Okay, so the key word is our number sequence, 4444. And our color is a sidewalk chalk rainbow. Beautiful pastels, right? I love how kids make those because that's what you do with every color in a box of chalk, right? Of course. Today is an 8. Happy astrocatting.